Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. My name is Matt Wittern, and I work for Raftellus, the consulting firm the city hired to perform the water and sewer rate study. I'm joined by my colleague, Jeremy Tamargo, who is our technical lead. Tonight, we'll walk through Laverne's proposed water and sewer rates, why these changes are necessary, and how they're determined. This discussion is part of the city's ongoing commitment to transparency and community involvement. We'll collect questions in the chat and address them in the order of receipt after the presentation. Before we get too far in, I wanted to give city staff who are participating tonight a chance to introduce themselves. Mr. Wu?
Good evening. My name is Daniel Wu. I'm the Public Works Director for the City of Laverne. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Joe Vieira, Deputy Public Works Director for the City of Laverne.
Good evening, Christy Sanchez, Senior Management Analyst with the City of Laverne.
Great. Thanks, everybody. So with introductions out of the way, let me share what we'll cover. We'll start with an overview of your utilities, then review how utility funding works. Next, we'll review the critical planned capital investments, and then explain how rates are determined under Proposition 218. We'll then look at the proposed rates and their impact on customer bills. Finally, we'll share specific actions you can take if you object to the proposed changes, and we'll close with public resources and next steps and end with time for your questions. Again, please post your questions in the chat, and we will go through them in the order received. Laverne's Water Division manages the production and distribution of water to your homes and businesses, along with maintaining and reading meters. About 76% of the city's water supply is imported from the Colorado River and State Water Project through the Three Valleys Municipal Water District and treated at the Miramar plant. The remaining 24% comes from local groundwater pumped from the Pomona and Live Oak basins using 8 operational wells, 4 blending facilities, and a treatment plant. The Sewer Division maintains and cleans 112 miles of sewer mains and operates 2 sewer lift stations. All of your wastewater flows to the Los Angeles County Sanitation District for treatment and discharge. These systems are critical for protecting public health and the environment. Now, let's talk a little bit about key concepts in utility funding. It's important to note that your utilities are not funded by the city's general fund or taxes. They operate as enterprise funds, which means the money collected from water and sewer rates can only be used to run and improve the water and sewer systems. They cannot be used for other city services like parks or public safety. Operating and maintaining the water and sewer system is critical to ensuring reliable service. Rate revenues contribute to keeping the systems running 24/7. Here's what it'll cost in 2026 to run the water system. Nearly $1 million for administration, which includes employing the professionals who operate the water system. About $9.8 million to ensure water is available for your community, which includes purchasing water. About $1 million to deliver water to customers. Nearly $1 million to ensure you have the reliable customer service you need. When it's all said and done, the cost to operate and maintain the system is about $13.9 million. Our study found that this will increase to more than $15 million in 2027. Here's what it will cost in 2026 to run the sewer system. Nearly $700,000 for administration, which includes employing the professionals who operate the system. More than $900,000 to maintain the system so sewage stays in the pipes where it belongs. And when it's all said and done, the cost to operate and maintain the system is about $1.8 million. This will increase to more than $1.9 million in 2027. This graphic shows how every dollar collected from the water rates is spent to provide service. More than half, 51%, goes directly to water production, including purchasing and pumping supplies. Another 26% funds the city's capital improvement program to replace and upgrade aging infrastructure. The remaining costs are spread across system needs, so 7% for transfers, 5% each for customer service, transmission and distribution, and water administration, and 1% for debt service. You can see here how the majority of the budget is spent buying water. This graphic helps put the cost of tap water into perspective by comparing it to everyday items most of us buy. A gallon of orange juice costs about $12.80. A gallon of gasoline is around $3.89. Both bottled water and milk are about $303.84 per gallon. By contrast, a gallon of tap water delivered to your home costs less than 1 cent. Even with planned rate adjustments, tap water remains by far the most affordable essential we buy. Unlike bottled water or juice, tap water is delivered 24/7 through an entire system of pipes, pumps, wells, and treatment facilities. It's also important to note that while we've all experienced the negative impacts of inflation on our family budgets, the rate of inflation for water and wastewater utilities has been far, far worse over the years. This graph compares the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, with just food-related CPI. Both appear down here at the bottom. At the top, shown by the black line, is how inflation has impacted water and wastewater providers. This is not just true in Laverne or California. Jeremy and I see this across the country. When we talk about inflation and rising costs, it's important to remember that utility systems aren't immune. They must keep pace with higher costs for labor, equipment, and supplies, while also funding critical capital projects and setting aside reserves for emergencies. In Laverne, water and sewer rates haven't been adjusted since 2018. In that time, the water utility has been operating in the red, drawing down reserves just to cover basic operating costs. And that's not a sustainable path. From 2018 until now, the Consumer Price Index has increased by about 28%. On top of that, utilities typically rise even faster, about 2% more than CPI each year, which adds another 15%. And most significantly, the cost of treated water the city purchases from the Metropolitan Water District has gone up by more than 50% in the same period. These factors together explain why steady, responsible adjustments are needed now. They will ensure that the city can cover rising costs, invest in infrastructure, and continue delivering safe, reliable service to every household. I'll turn it over now to Joe Vieira to talk a little bit about the planned capital improvement projects.
Thanks,
Joe?
Matt. Thank you. As you can see here, the plant capital improvement projects, this is a combination of projects that have been identified by city staff and our water master plan and sewer master plan, which are updated every 5 years. Below here is an identification of some of the major projects that we have identified for the next 5 years. I'll go into detail a little bit in the next slide, please, Matt. For the water distribution and treatment side, there is a pipeline rehabilitation, which is based on our master water plan, looking over our infrastructure that identifies pipes that need to be either relined or replaced altogether. The new AMI meter conversion, which is advanced metering infrastructure, that's to make sure that we can now meter all the water to a plus or 1% differential, and also for the residents to identify any leaks instantly versus waiting for the bill to show up every 2 months. Your water treatment plant, which is to meet new regulations, increase capacity, and then replace our aging equipment, and also well repairs, which is again also to increase water pressure, also create some better water quality, and also for increased water demand. And then finally, the SCADA system, which is to enhance our security, reduce downtime, and then collect real data in our system throughout the city. Next slide, please. On the sewer side, we're looking at sewer relining, which is obviously more cost-effective, minimal downtime, and it extends the life of the pipes. Manhole cleanout rehabilitation, that also is extending the life and avoids extensive excavation. We have some manholes out there that have been identified over 100 years old, so we need to give that a look and rehab those. Pipeline rehabilitation, the same as for water. In our plan, identifies certain sections or areas that through our department, when they cam the actual pipes, and also look at the infrastructure and identify certain areas that have pipes that need to be replaced. And then finally, the purchase of portable backup generators, which will be for certain areas where we have a lot of frequent power offs during wind events, that we'll be able to keep that infrastructure running in an emergency as well. And back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Joe. Important projects, every single one of those. So we wanted to share with you the public process over the past year. It began with several ad hoc committee meetings and facility tours, continued with a council workshop in April, and the council's action in August to authorize Prop 218 notices. Notices were mailed in September, and we're now holding 4 community information sessions, and this is one of them. The public hearing will take place on November 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall. If approved, new rates will take effect January 1st, 2026. Webinars like these are not the only way the city has been communicating with stakeholders on these important topics. The city has been proactively communicating about this rate study and the process for some time now, and the conversation in the community has been robust. Now we'll go into detail on the proposed rates. The next several slides will show water rates, sewer rates, and how these changes, if approved, will be phased in beginning January 1st, 2026, and then adjusted each July 1st through 2029. This slide shows the proposed fixed charges based on meter size, along with added unit charges for accessory dwelling units. These charges help ensure the city recovers a portion of its fixed costs, such as maintaining wells, reservoirs, and the distribution system. Larger meters have higher charges because they provide greater capacity to draw from the system. This slide shows a map of Laverne's water pressure zones. These zones reflect the different elevations in the city. Because water must be pumped to higher elevations in some areas, the cost of providing service can vary. On the next slide, we'll look at the proposed volumetric rates by zone, which are designed to fairly distribute those pumping costs among customers. This slide provides the detailed breakdown of the proposed volumetric rates by zone, showing the current 2025 charges compared with the proposed 2026 charges and how they will phase in over time. This structure makes sure that the city can pay for rising imported water costs while maintaining reliable local service. This slide shows the proposed charges for private fire protection connections, which are typically associated with commercial or industrial properties. These connections require system capacity to be available even if they are rarely used. The new charges will help cover the cost of maintaining infrastructure that ensures adequate fire protection throughout the city. Finally, this slide outlines the proposed sewer rates. For single-family residential customers, the charge is a fixed bi-monthly amount, which will increase gradually starting in 2026. For non-residential customers, the charges include a volumetric component based on water use. These revenues fund the maintenance of 112 miles of sewer mains and lift stations, as well as the fees paid to the Los Angeles County Sanitation District for wastewater treatment and discharge. So how do current proposed rates compare to the neighboring communities? Shown here is the current rate. The city is at the very bottom of the list. Even with the first proposed rate increases on January 1st, 2026, the city remains at the bottom of the list for the fixed bi-monthly meter charge. Keep in mind, Monte Vista Water District, Cucamonga Valley Water District, Roland Water, and the City of Upland all have increases effective January 1st, 2026, and are noted in this graph. This slide shows that even with the second scheduled rate increase of 25% on July 1, 2026, for the second year of the rate adjustment phase-in, the city's fixed bi-monthly meter charge still remains near the bottom. So let's get into sample bill impacts for single-family residential. Let's start with what this chart is showing. On the left, you see the dollar scale, and along the bottom, the three usage levels we're focusing on. Low use at 7,000 gallons, the annual average at 14,000 gallons, and medium-high use at 20,000 gallons. Now, in dark blue, you see the current 2025 bills for each usage level. A low-use household today pays about $78. The average household about $106, and a medium-high user about $129. With the proposed 2026 rates, shown in light blue, those bills would rise to about $113, $152, and $186, respectively. For sewer service, the story is simpler. Every single-family residence pays the same fixed rate every 2 months for sewer service, no matter how much water they use. The dark blue bar shows the current flat sewer service charge for 2025, $23.43 every 2 months. The light blue bar shows the proposed 2026 charge, $26.61. Finally, here's the combined picture. Water and sewer together on one bill. As before, you see the scale and usage categories first. The dark blue bars show current 2025 combined bills, or about $112 for low use, $152 for average use, and $186 for medium-high use. The light blue bars show the proposed 2026 combined bills, rising to about $139, $186, and $213 at those same usage levels. If approved by City Council, similar annual bill adjustments can be expected each year through 2029. Residents have two ways to formally oppose the proposed rate increases under Proposition 218. The first is by filing an objection, which argues that the rates are not legally compliant. The second is by submitting a protest, which is a written statement of opposition to the rates themselves. Both must be submitted in writing and follow specific rules to be counted. An objection must clearly explain why the proposed rates don't comply with Proposition 218. It must be received by the city clerk no later than 4 p.m. on October 27, 2025, 1 week before the hearing. Objections may be mailed, delivered in person, or emailed. The city will respond in writing to all timely objections. Importantly, filing an objection preserves the right to challenge rates later in court. A protest is a written statement opposing the proposed rates. It must include a clear statement of opposition, the property owner or account holder's name, the property address, and the person's signature and printed name. Each property may submit only one protest. Protests must be received by the city clerk before the close of the public hearing on November 3rd, 2025. Oral comments at the hearing do not count as protests. If more than half of property owners file valid protests, the city council cannot adopt the rates. If there is no majority protest, the city council may adopt them, and the new rates would take effect on January 1st, 2026, with annual adjustments through 2030. Two more items of note. Drought surcharges remain in effect. These only apply if the city council declares a water shortage emergency. The last item is the importance of water conservation. Water conservation empowers customers to actively manage and reduce their water bills through everyday actions. Simple steps such as promptly fixing leaks, installing water-efficient appliances, and optimizing outdoor irrigation with smart gardening techniques can lead to substantial savings in both usage and costs. The City of Laverne provides valuable resources to guide these efforts, including practical tips on reducing water use, reporting issues via online portals, accessing rebate programs for efficient devices and turf replacement through partnerships like SoCal WaterSmart, and exploring seasonal strategies in archive newsletters. Just search for water conservation on the city's website to find these tools, ordinances, and support materials. We encourage you to learn more. On the city's website, you'll find FAQs, videos, and the full rate study report. The bill calculator at laverneca.gov/calculator lets you enter your water use and see how the proposed rates would affect your household. You'll also find links to this presentation, future virtual and in-person sessions, and information about the public hearing. To summarize, rate studies help us keep up with the cost of providing service. They ensure financial health and set a course to meet future obligations. In California, Proposition 218 ensures rates are fair, transparent, and only cover the cost of service. Most importantly, community members like you have a voice in the process. So now we'd like to hear from you. Please enter your questions and comments into the chat, and we'll read them in the order they're received. We'll sit here for just a little bit to make sure nobody's typing in a question or comment here. Let's wait one more full minute to make sure we're not getting anybody typing into the chat. Okay, I'm not seeing any activity going on in the chat. I'll defer to city staff on whether we should wait a little bit longer or if we should call this a webinar.
Yeah, just a reminder for members of the audience, this is the third of a series of 4 public workshops. So thankful for your attendance at today's meeting. If you'd like to attend the last meeting, that will be an in-person workshop this Saturday at 10 a.m. at City Hall Council Chambers. We look forward to your continued interest and participation in the study process.
Very good. Well, without objection, I will move to close this webinar. And as Mr. Wu indicated, there's one session remaining this Saturday. So I'm sure staff would love to see everybody come out for that. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.